Good afternoon. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching, taking a look at our trading activity from 8/16 and doing a little review. Friday was quite a phenomenal day. Now, something that people ask me on occasion is when I'm coming into today, what's my bias, up or down, long or short? Um, I try not to have one bias extreme one way or the other. The reason for that is that it biases my trading when I'm looking. And I know at these zones, at each zone, normally I expect a rotation at each zone. So I prefer for the market to give me clues once it's open instead of me trying to impose what my views are on the market. I've learned over time the market simply doesn't care what my views are. Now, overall, we've broken down below what was a major basing area, and there was a lot of pressure relieved in that. By the same token, that was up at 1680, and we're trading down at 1660 and as low as 1654. And I wouldn't have been shocked, while I didn't think we would recover all the way, I wouldn't have been shocked that we moved up and tried to at least attempt a gap fill or a half gap from the other day. I was also totally open to we could come down to that 1640 level, 1645, or even lower. Simply because I don't do a fundamental analysis on the market. And I'm open to the market doing whatever it wants because that's exactly what it does. And if you form a solid opinion, you're then left in the position of defending that position or that idea. And instead, I'd like to be free to interpret what the market's doing and seeing where it's giving me opportunities by looking at the size of the rotation up or down, by looking for things like tick divergence and small clues, first time into major areas. And so that helps my mind relax and really let the market tell me what it wants to do. And anyone can do it. I'm not doing anything special. Let's look at overnight. Overnight wasn't anything spectacular. As you'll notice the difference here, instead of us heading down one way or the other, we really had a nice just overnight basing period. And that was the first clue to me that sellers weren't overly strong. They weren't weak, but they weren't overly strong, nor was there a desire to get back up over the lows overnight either. And often you will see in Europe that they'll steal a move or the portion of the move coming into the day. So I already knew coming into the morning that I was fairly neutral on the market. And in reviewing the overnight, I looked, and if you review previous action where the market had come down, you'll see that it's not necessarily a situation where there's follow through the following day. It's quite common for it to have a balance the following day and then a possible continuation lower. So one of the things I would like to see is the prior day's high penetrated. And that doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to go higher from there, but it does tell me that there's at least some buyers attempting to push up, and that I will stop looking for a continuation in the same direction. So overall, I do think that we could head lower. In a bigger picture, sellers are clearly in control at this point, unless we somehow recoup that 80 level, or we push lower to a support level where buyers can again gain the upper hand. But that doesn't mean that we can't make attempts at filling higher. So looking at the action in the morning, for me, the first trade was right in here on this first test of Globex low and into the first support level, and my target was quite simple. I wanted a 2-point target. Again, right here, this first push into this zone. Now, this zone could have broken quite easily, much as it did on NQ. If we look at NQ here, let's see if we can find it easily. There we are. If we look at NQ, my concern was that we would push through just like we did right here in this zone. And so I was very concerned about that, and I was cautious in this area. I still took a trade here, but I am often prepared if we don't get out of that zone pretty quickly, I am often prepared to bail on the trade. That's really not something I can explain. Normally, like I said, I'll have a 2-point stop behind the back of the zone, or a 5-point stop on NQ, 5 to 10 point stop depending on the volatility. So I was concerned, as I said, about an attempted gap fill, and they did, as you can see, if you did not cover quickly, you ended up taking a loss most likely on this trade, as it did push higher. Going back over to ES quickly, as you can see, ES was contained. We got a rotation right out of the middle of the zone, and anywhere from 2 to actually from the middle of the zone all the way back down to the top of the prior zone, you could have easily garnered about let's see, 64 points. So at any rate, I took my 2 points and I was done. And you got to understand, I'm done for the day as far as I'm concerned at this point. Anything else that I find through the course of the day is gravy for me. I have a method for increasing my trade size, and then I also have a very specific method for looking for swing trades or other trades that might appear through the course of the day, but they don't necessarily appear. So I'm satisfied at this point, and I've been able to grow my account on yet another day. So moving forward, I did call out right here, we had tick divergence right at the very top, and I tweeted, I see tick divergence. I could take a loss. This is my lowest risk area for placing a trade. I'll usually have my stop back here somewhere. And I took 1 tick of heat. And it looked scary when it was there. I mean, if you looked at this looked like it was just ready to bust up to this next resistance zone. And sometimes the best trades are the scariest trades. So if you'll look here, we rotated down. I scaled, and I said exactly how I managed this trade. I scaled for my normal 2 points. I took half my trade, and I left my stop. I believe I put it at the high plus 2 ticks. So I moved it down just slightly, and that would have left me in a profitable position on the trade as a whole. When I came down here, I might have moved the stop when we were up 5. I took the trade off, and then some people had asked me, well, why didn't I take the long here? Well, if you look, this is really the second move of the day into this zone, and this is exactly why I focus on the first touch. I had no additional information here to let me know that we were going to rotate back higher, and in addition, the NASDAQ had been getting weaker during this period of time. So I remained short through here, and then I had tweeted that I covered, I believe my cover was at 1651 for exactly 10 points, and that was right here, about a point in front of this zone. And then I wrote, this is obviously I print the chart prior to the open, that I expect responsive buyers in this area. And look at this, we came right into the zone, right? And I treat this zone differently. I have a different strategy for entering my trades in areas where I expect responsive buyers. And so we came in, and I wasn't even quite sure that we were going to get it. As you see, we couldn't quite get in there the first time. People were early, and we had set a new low on the day. And there's a trade that's there when we set new lows, and particularly at important areas. So look at this rotation up. This is from 1650 all the way up almost to 1658. It was almost an 8-point trade, just under. Even if you had taken it out right here in this area, and there was actually a tick divergence. The other thing that you'll notice is we are getting towards the end of the day. I believe this is just prior or just after the top of the hour, and we started rotating. Let me see if I can pull that up. This is right here at the top of the hour, and here's the reason why you have to have reasonable stops. Let's say you took this trade right at the back, right, and there was tick divergence here. You took this trade right at the back, and they started pushing you. Well, let's say you had a tight stop, half a point, 5 ticks. Well, this trade got stopped out. You have a loser here, right? And what you ended up with was missing just a beautiful downside trade. Now, despite the fact that I hate the last hour, This was extremely sweet trade, and there was another 8 points, obviously 7 points to be had here for the course of the day. So there are plenty of opportunities, and the other thing that this highlights is when you're trading and you want to, the number one thing that you want to do is protect your equity. And in order to protect your equity, you have to have precision in entering your trades, and you have to have precision in exiting your trades. And so many traders go through boom-bust cycles because either the major causes are they don't have a trade plan, or they have a trade plan built around an edge that does not give you a high odds of winning. And oftentimes I have a lot of people tell me, well, Simon, there's no way you can maintain an 80% win. And I would disagree with that. And the reason for that is the majority of my trades during the day are concentrated right in this level, okay? And due to my own hard work and levels that I trust, I know that if you'll go back and look at the charts, again, proof of concept, that I can often get a 2-point rotation out of these zones on first touch. Not always. I do take a stop. If you look, not this Thursday, but 2 Thursdays ago, I did have a loss. I had 2 stops in the day, and I stopped trading. But I've had winning days ever since then. So I did not bury myself, whether it was me that was off, or the charts that was off, or the market just slipped through the zone, which does happen on occasion. I limited my loss. I limited my opportunity. I didn't feel a need to recover because I'm so confident that the following day I'll hit my trades. And I'm fine with just leaving it alone for the day. When you move forward through the course of this day, even if you didn't get this swing trade that was available here, or this swing trade that was available here, or the swing trade that was available here, if you didn't take any of those and you took this trade right here, first move into the zone, and you took this trade right here, first move into the zone, 2 points was acquired. That's 4 points. There's people that will kill for 4 ES points through the course of the day. So think about it. If you'd like to learn to trade with precision, please feel free to contact me. If you have any questions, you can email me at tradeandperform@gmail.com. You can hit me on Twitter or StockTwits. I certainly hope this helps some people out. Again, overall, sellers are in control, but that does not mean that we can't have a move to either half gap, which would put us at approximately 1670, or the full gap, which is all the way up here at 1680. Both of them are a possibility. Watch your rotations. Make sure you have some space in between, and that you don't force a trade that's not there. And if you're taking trades outside of the zone, or if you're chasing trades down, as people did here on a new low, if you chase this, man, you had some pain. And look at that. You weren't far from being off. As a matter of fact, at the end of the day, you could have covered down in here. So, but there's no way most people survive this 8-point run up. It just, you took a loss and you were pissed off. So stop the boom bust cycle, get some help. If not through me, there's a lot of good coaches out there. There's a lot of good traders that are willing to help. So again, my name is Simon. I hope everyone's having a fantastic weekend. I'm going to enjoy mine, and we'll talk to you later.